They're approachable and explain things in layman's terms. If you don't understand something, they'll walk you through it. My name's Richard Moores. I am the owner of Sims Williams Estate Agents and also the owner of KTS Estate and Block Management. We were introduced to Pelican by a previous business associate, should we say, a guy that I used to enjoy working alongside. Believe it or believe it not, he used to sell our photocopiers and service our photocopiers. And he came to us and said, these guys have just started out, you should give them a go for your business needs. And it was at the same sort of time that I was starting to get disillusioned with our original insurance broker. They started off as a small independent and gradually got bought out and became this big corporate beast. And I think you become complacent, don't you? When it's time to renew your insurance, the last thing you want to be doing is thinking, let's go shopping around. It's just easy enough to stick with what you've got and just move on. And I thought that was the way forward until such time as you come to put in a claim. And that's when I think you really do find out who you're dealing with. That small independent that we initially signed up with became this large corporate, and dealing with them on an insurance claim was an absolute nightmare. Pelican stepped in and we had a conversation about them taking over our insurance midway through this claim that I was trying to put through. That broker said, no, sorry, you can't claim, the insurance company have rejected it. And Pelican were having none of it. They were like a dog with a bone, got involved and said that the broker had, I think, presumably misinterpreted what had happened, hadn't given the insurance company the right advice or the right information. Paul and the rest of the team stepped in, literally took over the claim and we managed to settle. And I think we settled for about £35,000 worth of claim. My original broker was telling me that it wasn't going to be something I could claim for. So it was a huge saving. But not only that, it was dealing with people like Paul, dealing with individuals as opposed to phoning a call centre, as opposed to pressing one to try and speak to someone that you can never get hold of a second time around. So I think that's why we came over and we've been with them ever since. Well, it's funny, isn't it? You know, you talk about testimonials and I've watched these sort of similar videos and you think, oh, they're staged or people are scripted as to what they want to say. But that is an actual experience and that's why I was so happy to recommend Paul to other business associates that I know. And when we started to get involved with KTS Estate Management, we put Paul in front of them to look after their portfolio. Now, bearing in mind we're looking after blocks of apartments, housing developments. Yes, you want to make sure you're dealing with decent people you can pick up the phone with, you can get on with, and they're providing you with that right sort of service. But ultimately at KTS we're spending other people's money. We're spending directors' monies on blocks of apartments or housing developments. Value for money is key, isn't it? And I think we certainly get that with Pelican from handling all of the portfolio, or the vast majority of our portfolio, on one policy. It just makes life so much easier. And yeah, they're good fun to deal with. Insurance isn't sexy, is it? It's not something that any of us really want to get involved with. It's a necessary evil in business. But I think that they portrayed insurance to me in a way that I could understand, I could engage with, and you think, okay, I'm dealing with people who are happy to sit and chat and explain everything to me in layman's terms. Penny dropped and you start thinking to yourself, yeah, okay, I get that now. And I think them stepping in and helping me with the claim, they didn't have to, they had nothing to prove, they certainly weren't getting anything from it. I think they just saw it as good versus evil. You know, they were trying to make sure that my claim was processed in the right way, and me as a small independent business was paid as I should have been. So yeah, why wouldn't I want to stick with them? Pelican help because they know who I am. I think Pelican help because they know they'll send me a renewal proposal and they know they've got to gently poke me with a stick, because it's one of those emails that you look at and think, oh, it's insurance, and you sort of mark it as unread again and just sort of leave it there. But they're gentle enough that Beth's got a stick and she pokes me with it and just makes sure that I do action what needs to be dealt with. And they're at the end of a phone. That's the big thing, isn't it? Whether it's a mobile to be able to get hold of them on, you can do. And I think that's what you want. When we're all running around trying to run our own businesses, these other things, I think it's just great if you can know that they're being dealt with by someone else and knowing that they're being dealt with in the right way. Efficient is the first thing, and I think that's important. Friendly is the second, and again, that's important, isn't it? People buy from people is a corny old saying, but it is so true. a third one, crikey. They're approachable, and yeah, I touched on earlier that they'll explain things in layman's terms. If you don't understand something, they'll walk you through it, and that's what's needed. They're a good independent, they're a good small independent, and I think they can't afford to lose that identity ever, can they? I think that's the beauty of being a small independent. Sims Williams, we're a small independent. We can provide a service to our clients and to associates alike, and that is very similar to the team here at Pelican. And coming into their offices today, it sums it up, doesn't it? It's a great culture. There's people out there at their workplace smiling, and you just get the impression that they're enjoying doing what they're doing whilst providing us with a great service.